Chinese yuan, Taiwan dollar dip as USD firms ahead of Jackson Hole. The Chinese yuan and Taiwan greenback edged lower on Friday, with broader Asian currencies additionally withdrawing because the greenback bolstered ahead of greater cues on U.S. monetary policy from the Jackson Hole Symposium. China and RSQ yuan fell 0.1% to 6.8549, while the Taiwan dollar shed 0.2%. Concerns over further deterioration of ties among the two countries grew after a U.S. lawmaker on the Senate Commerce and Armed Services Committees landed in Taipei on Thursday, in step with the circulate marks the third go-to with the aid of a U.S. dignitary to the island this month, and is probably to draw ire from Beijing. Taiwan had earlier this month launched army drills close to the island after a go-to by way of U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The flow had in brief rattled financial markets. On the economic front, investors have been also expecting more stimulus measures from China, after the authorities reduce interest prices and announced extra infrastructure spending this week. This driven the yuan to a two-year low. China is dealing with an excessive slowdown in growth stemming from COVID lockdowns, a suffering real property market, and a potential strength shortage. Broader Asian currencies fell as the greenback index rose barely, sticking near a close to 20-year high. The dollar became also buoyed by a batch of sturdy U.S. monetary data, which gives the Federal Reserve more space to hike quotes aggressively. Dollar index futures have been flat on Friday. Markets are actually watching for Fed Chair Jerome Powell and RSQ's cope with to the Jackson Hole Symposium in Wyoming, due later these days, to gauge simply how hawkish the valuable bank intends to be. In the Asia-Pacific area, the New Zealand dollar slumped nearly 0.5%, and changed into the worst performer amongst its friends after Central Bank Governor Adrian Orr indicated that the bank and RSQ's current tightening cycle can be at and give up. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand has hiked interest quotes aggressively due to the fact that overdue 2021 to lower growing inflation. The Japanese yen fell 0.2% on Friday after statistics confirmed inflation in Tokyo, its biggest town, grew at its highest tempo in 30 years in August. Rising inflation, coupled with the Bank of Japan's reluctance to tighten coverage, has severely dented the yen this 12 months.